Quilt It, the Long Arm Quilting Show is brought to you by Handi Quilter, manufacturer of easy-to-use long arm quilting machines, designed by a quilter for quilters. YLI, you'll love it. Paintbrush Studio, inspirational fabrics. Welcome to Quilt It, the Long Arm Quilting Show. I'm Jody Davis. Can you believe that this bag was made entirely on a long arm quilting machine? I can't. Today joining me is Renee Haddadine, who made this bag. It's Renee's bag of tricks.
That's right. And inside I have a few tools that are going to help us make this bag.
Great.
Now, let's see what we've got. I have some templates here, and we'll use those when we get over to the long arm.
Okay.
I have some DVDs in case there's not enough information here. There's some more on there.
Great.
And I have Renee's mini raise, and that's the tool we're going to use to mark this sample.
Oh, great.
I have some thread.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that nice? It's the YLI Fine Metallic. I love it.
Yum.
I have, actually, this is what I use for this thicker line here. It's a YLI shimmer, and I used that in the bobbin, and I will teach you how to do that. And this one here is the Ribbon Floss Metallic, also YLI, and that's in here too, the silver here.
Oh, yes. I can see how it's wider. It's thicker.
Uh-huh. It looks different, doesn't it?
Can't wait to learn it.
Okay, we'll get there.
But Renee, what is a thumbtack doing in here? Are you just being dangerous?
No, not dangerous. But I am going to use it to hold the tool in place when we mark the sample here.
Okay, well, before we do that, let's show everyone what this bag looks like, because it really is
Open
gorgeous.
it all the way up.
Oh, good.
And flip it over. How's that?
Oh, look at that.
To do these designs, it's helpful to have some of these lines on the fabric. So we're going to mark that now with Renee's mini raise.
Okay.
So this is the mini ray tool, and this is what I want to mark. Now I have a sample here underneath. This one's marked, ready to go.
So this is where we're going.
Right, but I have one that's not marked.
So you can show us how.
Exactly, to show you how we got there.
So you've got a cross in the middle.
That's right. So I found the center, and I make the 90 degrees.
And the way I find the center is by folding the fabric in half and in half again.
Good idea. That's exactly what I did before I taped it down.
Brilliant minds, you know.
Okay, so now you put the tool down and you center it right over the crosshairs there, and that's where the thumbtack comes into play.
And that's why you have the mat underneath too.
That is. I forgot to mention that. This mat you can pin right into.
That's what they're made for,
and
rotary
so
cutting.
I can put this right in the hole, and that'll hold that in place. Now, for this pattern that I'm going to make, I need 16 radiating lines and then circles starting at 12 inches. So this is how the tool's designed to work. I put my pencil into the arm, put it in the hole that says 12 inches. Now, let me show you here. It doesn't show up very well on black, but there
now we can
are
see.
numbers.
Yes,
Okay.
there's your 12.
Right, so that's the hole I'm going to use. I use this mechanical pencil that has white chalk. It'll show up on the black.
Oh, that's great.
And this is a compass.
And you have your 12-inch circle.
That's right.
Yay.
So I have a 12-inch circle and a 14-inch circle, and I go all the way out to 34 inches for this bag. Okay?
Wow. But that won't take any time with this tool.
Now, to do the radiating lines, there are etched lines on the edge of this circle here.
Uh-huh.
These longest lines, if I have it lined up right, if I have the longest lines on the crosshairs, now I use those longest lines again and draw radiating lines out from the center. Now I will use those when we go to the long arm, and I will stitch on those, and this will help me to stay straight.
So this is why it's called Renee's mini raise.
That's
because it's radiating out.
And as soon as you've got all these lines done, like on this sample here, I attach it to the canvas and take it over to the long arm.
Well, Renee, that was easy. Are we all ready to sew?
Well, almost. It might be a good idea to wind some bobbins before we head to the machine.
Oh, yes, because we want to use these yummy, thicker threads, right? Like the ribbon floss that you told us about?
Yeah, and they take a little more attention to wind the bobbin.
Okay, well then let's take a time out for one of our short takes on long arm quilting. In this short takes for long arm quilting, we're going to learn about getting your bobbin wound just right. It's the 3 bears of bobbin winding. Vicki Hoth is here from Handi Quilter. You know what I mean.
Yeah, too tight, too loose, or just right. Oh, I could do that again. Too tight.
Just right.
Yeah.
So do you have examples of this?
I do. This is the too loose.
Aha. It looks a mess.
It is. It's really spongy. You can put your fingernail down into that, and the thread, you know, as it starts stitching, would sink into that, and you'd have awful tension.
I've been there, done that, and it's a mess.
Yeah. So then I have one, and it's really kind of hard to see.
That looks fine.
It does look fine, but once I put this in the bobbin case, it has been wound too tight, and it's actually exploded the sides.
You're kidding.
So it won't even fit.
You're kidding.
And that can be done if it's wound too fast or with a monofilament type thread that it stretches it, and then it will just kind of sink in the center and explode those sides. So then you've ruined your bobbin. Just chuck them.
So what are the tools for winding bobbins, and how do you avoid these problems?
Well, if you're using a monofilament, this is a monofilament from YLI. You can see that, how clear that is.
I use it all the time.
For stitch in the ditch, it's great quilting. But if you wind that too fast, it stretches, it gets warm. Do you see how that stretches?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it will expand your bobbin.
And then you wonder why you're having problems sewing.
That's right. Then there are other threads. We have, do you see what that is?
That's a beautiful metallic.
That's right, it's a ribbon floss. And we can put that in our bobbin.
Oh, really?
Yes, we can run it in the bobbin case. Just adjust that tension. But again, it needs to be wound slower. And the nice thing is there's lots of different bobbin winders on the market. You know, there's little standalones and, you know, different electric and battery operated one. But we have one here at Handi Quilter that has an adjustable speed, so we can actually slow that bobbin winding down.
Oh, so you can avoid that stretchy problem.
Yeah, and you can adjust the tension with it.
Oh, even more so.
Yeah, that's really great. So, are you ready to turn it on?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's wind some bobbins.
I've got it turned way down.
Okay.
And I'm just going to hit the switch there, and you can kind of hear a little humming go on. We're going to start winding that, and I've adjusted the tension so it'll just wind evenly by this plate here.
Oh, really?
Because you want to wind that evenly as well.
Rather than getting a big hump in the middle. Ah, well, fascinating. I didn't know there was this much to winding
I
bobbins.
know, it's 101 of bobbin winding.
It's a 101. But it's another thing that just makes your sewing turn out the way you want to, so you're happy.
That's right, and you can use all these beautiful threads.
I know, all these great threads that thread companies make for us.
That's right.
For more information about all of this, go to qnntv.com.
We are the Handi Quilter Studio educators, and we want you to know why we love our Handi Quilter quilting machines.
Handi Quilter quilting machines are innovative. Check out the color touch screens, 2 kinds of stitch regulation, and computer-guided quilting.
Handi Quilter quilting machines are intuitive and easy to use, and they come in a size that fits your quilting style.
Handi Quilter offers training, service, and ongoing education. We care about your quilting experience.
Handi Quilter quilting machines are designed by a quilter for quilters. We'll be at a quilt shop near you or a show. Come give one a test drive. To learn more, call or click for a free demo DVD or
Follow the truck to Handi Quilter.
We're back with more Quilt It. Renee Haddadin is going to show us how to sew her Renee's bag of tricks. But first I need to give you this little zinger.
Well, thank you.
You have to have your clips for sewing when you're on the sewing machine.
Okay.
So where do we start with our sewing?
Let me move this machine out of the way, and I'll show you how I did the stitching sequence. Now I started over here and I stitched all the way around, and that stabilizes the quilt a bit. Now I did that using this template that's made to do a curve that size.
Ah.
That's how I get a nice smooth line.
And did you have the template down on the quilt as you sewed it?
Yes, I do.
Ah.
I'll show you how I did that in just
great.
a minute. Then I stopped and started over here and used a different size, one that will match this size circle that I drew, and I come over here. Now I've stabilized those 2 areas.
It's much like when you're quilting a quilt and you go in the ditch around the blocks, so you stabilize it and then you go into the centers and work.
That's
Same
exactly
idea.
it, yes. So I came around the circle here, and I come out to the edge and then come back. Now I do that using my template again, and then I go over using a different size template. So I used several in this part here, and I went over, up, and back, over, up, and back, using the markings that I made earlier. Now let's start where I left off, and we'll do some sewing.
Great.
When I use templates, I do it in the needle down position, and I can set that by pushing this button right here. Now I'm ready to go, and I will push the start button. I hold the template securely in my hand and just follow that line. When I need to stop, because I'm in the precision mode, it will stop. I can move my hand along and keep the template secure. I come out to that point and stop with my needle down. Now I can move easily and the machine won't slip on me.
So explain to me what the precision mode does.
Well, precision mode, when I push the start button, it doesn't move until I move the machine. It's a regulated stitch.
Okay.
And when I stop, it will stop. So I can stop and go, and it will respond to me.
So you don't get any of those jigs and jags when you stop and start.
That's right.
We like that.
Yeah. And the needle down position, when I push stop, it will end with that needle down.
Yes, which is very handy.
Yeah. So the next step is I need to follow that line along and move 1/4 of an inch over to bring my stitching down along that channel. And I'll be using the marking here on the ruler
To line
show
it
me.
up with the one that you've already stitched. That's great.
Right. So I will turn it on. It's in precision mode, and it will do just a few stitches as long as I'm ready. Now I was here, and I want to move over 1/4 of an inch. The hopping foot is 1/4 of an inch.
That's convenient.
Yes, so it will measure that line. Now I want 1/4 of an inch over, and so I put the template down on the line that I want to stitch, like this, and then I pull the machine along the edge of the template smoothly, and that's how I get a line that is nice and straight.
Because you have that template to guide you. That's great.
That's right. We're going to have you try this.
Oh no.
Well,
Am I
I'll
doing
show
everything?
you first, and you do it the next one. How's
Okay,
that?
okay, that works.
Okay.
That template is the trick.
It really is.
Then you don't have to try to eyeball it. You
That's
know
right.
you got it.
And I can stop anytime. My needle
because
will
of the
end
precision
down.
mode and the needle down.
That's right. I can adjust where I'm going and how I'm holding it, and then continue on.
That's great.
And stop right on that line.
Now are you going to go this way?
I am.
Okay.
Now I'm going to place this little circle template to help me with that circled arc, and I'm going to end at this point right here, and then I'll let you do the next line out to the left.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So the way you know how to position that template is just because you've done it before?
It is. You just learn to eyeball a quarter inch.
I know. And as we sew, we know. Like I know 5/8 from sewing, and I know 1/4 inch from, it's
That's
just
right.
experience.
That's right. Okay, Jody, now you give it a try. You're going to line up your template.
Okay.
Hold it steady with one hand because you're going to have to turn the machine
So
on.
you had yours down towards this end, and then you stopped and moved it. I was watching.
That's
it's kind of like
right.
rotary cutting, that you move your
Absolutely.
hand along the ruler. Okay.
Yes, you have to hold it steady.
Okay.
So this is your start button.
Okay.
When you push that, when you start to move the machine, it will start stitching.
Okay, well, bombs away. Here we go.
Now,
there we go.
as you guide it down the edge of the ruler,
Yep.
if you're holding it steady, you'll get a nice straight line. Pull your machine.
I'm out. I'm off a little bit. Yep, I see what you're saying.
There you go. Have it so
Now.
it's just guiding on the edge of that.
Okay. And I stop right here
That's right.
at the line. Yay! Renee, the template is the trick. Look at that line. It's almost straight.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
The next step after you've stabilized this top section is we'll move on to the next section. So I want to roll the quilt forward. I release the latches over here on the machine.
So we've done the top half of the bag.
That's right.
Okay.
We're ready to move on. Okay, now I'm going to finish up this circle here and end here, and I can start to do another design with a template that's sort of like a spirograph design.
Oh, what fun.
You remember that from when you were a kid?
Yes, I do, and they were fun to play with, but I bet they're more fun to play with a sewing machine, especially a long arm sewing machine.
I use the lines that I've drawn and the circle and where they meet. So each one of those points is what I want to connect to the next point.
Okay.
So the way I do it is I like to mark on here. This is point number 1 where I'll start. And I'm going to come over here 5 lines. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And that's point number 2 where I'm going to come. Then I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will continue on around the circle connecting all these points, and it will make like a spirograph design.
Okay. I'm kind of getting it. It's going to work.
You'll watch, you'll catch on real quick. This is number 2, and I'm
Oh.
going to use this arc to line up and hit that point.
And again, you're eyeballing that 1/4 inch
I am.
to allow for the foot.
That's right.
Okay.
So I'm going to come along until I hit that point. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to stop. It'll sink my needle, and I can move on to point
the
number
next
3.
number.
So now I position this so that I'm ready to hit point number 3, and here I go.
I see how it's starting to spirograph.
Now the next one will be 5 lines over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is this one. I move my template around like that so that I'm ready to hit this point. Now you have to be a little bit of a contortionist because you have to hold the template with one hand and push the start button with the other. And so it's a little bit tricky, but you get good at it once you have a little practice. See, and I just keep moving to the
Every
next.
5.
That's right. And once you start coming around, now I don't need to number each one because I know.
It's the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the one right before the last, so I
Uh-huh.
know it's that one right there. Okay, I'm almost finished with the spirograph. How about if you do this last little section?
It's the last little leg?
It's the last little leg. You're going to hold this template with your left hand around the back,
Okay.
and then you're going to bring the foot of the machine along the edge of the template, and you're going to end,
It'll end right there.
Yes.
Okay, I see it. Boy, I'm really glad. Thank you, Kim Smith. Thank you. She keeps me in shape, and I think I need it for this.
Is she
Okay.
your yoga instructor?
She's my, we do boot camp.
Oh, there
But we
you
do
go.
everything in it. Ooh.
There you go.
Boy, that template makes it easy. Now, it isn't perfect, but boy, it wouldn't be. It'd be a whole lot different if I didn't have the template to use.
Now you did a great job. Once you're done, you just move your machine away, bring up your bobbin thread, and I can trim that off. Move my machine, see what gorgeous thing you've done.
See the beautiful work of art.
How's that?
Renee, thanks to you and these templates, you've made something that's very complicated looking, very easy.
Well, good, thank you.
And next we're going to fill in?
That's right.
Great. We'll be back with more Quilt It. You should choose the best thread for your quilt because you're making an heirloom that will last for years. YLI makes thread for every need. Choose YLI's Long Arm Pro thread and YLI Machine Quilting thread for your long arm quilting projects. Both are 40 weight and come in gorgeous solid and variegated colors. For a different look, try YLI Fine Metallic or YLI Silk 100 thread in solid or variegated colors. Both perfect choices for long arm machines. YLI thread, we designed it for you. Paintbrush Studios brings the high quality and experience of a 40-year-old fabric company and a friendly Midwestern attitude to your local quilt shop with our exclusive fabric lines. From the staple group of blenders to the exciting new collections introduced each season, Paintbrush Studios fabrics are created with the quilt maker in mind. Visit the Paintbrush Studios website to download the free pattern for Crystal Rainbow and create your own treasure. Quilted is back with Renee Haddadine, and we're going to work more on the techniques of your bag of tricks.
Okay, what I'm going to show you now is we'll do some of this fill-in work with this fine metallic.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. And can you see the difference how heavy this is out here?
Yes, I noticed that. Is that a different thread?
It is. That is a ribbon floss by YLI.
Oh, playing with threads is so much fun. Well, what are we doing first?
Okay, first what we're going to do is, let me show you here. What I'm going to show you here is called curved cross hatching, and what I'll do, and what I did here in this part is I connect where these circles that we drew earlier go across this line. And I line up my template, and I do this stitching, and then I fill it in with the small designs called micro fill-ins, and I will show you how I do all that.
It looks like a spider web right now.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love the curve to it, the cross hatching.
So I like to start right here. I'll pull up my bobbin and secure my thread. Now, I need to move, the line we drew, I need to move down to this corner, so I'm going to just do this little design. I'm trying to make this a continuous line, so there's no starting and stopping.
Okay,
That's
so there's
what
a little
I'm
bit
doing
of
this for.
some planning to it.
That's
some thought
right.
goes into it. Okay.
Actually, the pattern that I have available to people will show the entire stitching sequence. So you
Great.
start here, come down here, go over there, it'll have all of that numbered.
The pattern that Renee's talking about will be on QNNTV.com in our episode notes.
Okay, I'm going to come up the circles that we drew around. I'm going to come up 3 and hit that point right there. And I'm going to push that along the edge of the template, just like the other template.
It looks very familiar.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Now I need to move up to the next one because I'm going to zigzag up and back and up and back.
So you're going to do that little arc again.
That's right. Now, some people are maybe more particular about having those be exactly uniform, and if they want to, they could use a template for that. Or you could mark it if you wanted to. It might make it easier for you to follow the line if it was marked. But I'm just doing it freehand right now. So I'll move up and back and up and back.
So it's really your comfort level on whether you want to mark it or if you feel like you're a little bit more comfortable kind of winging it just a little bit using the template.
That's exactly right.
And as you get experience, I'm sure you get more confident.
It gets easier.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to skip to the chase here and show you how once you go all the way up on one side, then you want to come all the way down on the other, and it will fill in these like it does over here. It will
Because
complete
you're going back
your design.
and forth, yes.
Yes. So I'm going to just cheat over. Is that okay?
That's fine. I don't have any
Okay.
problem with that.
I'm
Does
gonna
anybody have a
cheat
problem
over.
with that?
I think it'll be a lot more fun to watch this fill in. So now I'm going to come down 3 lines.
So it's kind of like lacing a shoe.
It very much is like lacing a shoe. This is going to be my last one, and it'll fill in that section so you can see what it looks like when you go back and forth, and they crisscross each other.
It's much easier than it looks. It looks like this very delicate spider web, but it's just a back and forth.
That's right. Really, anyone can do it. It's not too difficult. It's just a matter of going to the right mark.
That's right.
Okay, now I'm going to fill in these diamonds.
Oh, like you did on this piece.
Exactly. I'll use this swirl design, and I want to start here and move from diamond to diamond to diamond through those corners.
Ah, that's the method of the madness.
That's right.
And is this all done freehand?
It is. So I also, I should mention, I like to turn my stitch down to maybe 16 stitches per inch because it needs to have a smoother arc to it.
Because it's tiny.
Yes. Now, Jody, when I do the microfill to fill in the little diamonds, I like to change my stitch to be what's called cruise mode.
Okay.
Now, what that does, and I do that right here, I go to more, and then I will turn that up to 5%.
That's the speed.
It is. It's the cruise speed. So what that means is when I push start in precision mode, it doesn't turn on until I move the machine. In cruise mode, it will start stitching at 5% as soon as I push the start button. And the reason I like that is because when I'm doing small, intricate stitching, my needle won't hang up in the down position. I want a very smooth movement.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, good.
So now I pull up my bobbin and I'm going to start moving. I'm going to do like an S shape, like this, and come up here and do an S. And then I'm going to come down and fill this in down here.
It's just loopy loops.
It is. And then come around and fill this like this. And then move myself to that corner here.
Go on to the next one.
That's right. And do another S shape and fill in the difference.
So going from one little section to another, you're just continuing along, and then they're in the right aspect.
That's right. And that way I don't need to stop and start and
Right.
worry about my tail ends or anything like that of my thread.
Right. Or think. You just keep going along.
That's right. You get really in a rhythm and you just
Yes.
move from one to the next to the next to the next, and you get a nice little checkerboard design.
Great. Now what do you do next after you'd filled all this in?
Now, after I'm done with that, let's get that sample back. I'll show
Okay.
you. Once I'm completely done, I'm done with the quilt. I take it off the frame and I flip it over. Now, to get this heavier line there, I'm going to use this YLI ribbon floss. Now, I put that on my bobbin, and it's a flat, so you want to make sure it winds properly on your bobbin.
Oh, so you don't twist it.
No, you want it to go on without twisting.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take the quilt, and I need to work on the upside. I need the bottom to be on the top and the top to be on the bottom. So
Right.
these Velcro leaders make that really easy. So to detach the roller, the Velcro, I just unwind it and then pull it off. And now I'll flip the quilt over and reattach it. Okay, Jody, you can see I've turned the quilt upside down. This is the back side. And now I changed my thread as well. I'm using a heavier thread. It's machine quilting thread by YLI. It's their 40 weight cotton.
That balances out the ribbon.
Yes, it
Because
works
it's heavier.
Yes, it works better with it. And I'm using a contrasting. My bobbin thread is silver and this is black, and it will show on the front side, and it'll give it like a railroad track kind of beading look.
Oh.
When I do bobbin stitching, I like to have it at 8 stitches per inch, and so I'll set it down here at 8, and now we're ready to do our bobbin stitching. So I'm going to use my template. I'm going to bring it, I can see here this line. I'm going to bring it alongside and do the stitching right on the line that I stitched earlier.
Oh.
And it is going to give me a very pretty look on the other side. Now, right now, you're just going to have to trust me because
We can't see
that's
it.
right. It's upside down. You can't see a thing.
I trust her, do you?
And now I would use the template that fits that line to help me stay right on that line.
So Renee, you're retracing the lines that you had already sewn earlier?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
That way I'll outline this box with that heavier thread, and it turns out it really makes it pop.
Renee, do you have any tips on winding the bobbin? Do you use a regular bobbin winder?
I like to turn my bobbin winder, it is a regular one, but I like to turn the speed down on it and control it with my hand so that I'm sure it's going on just right. I want it to lay flat. This one is a flat ribbon, and if it gets twisted as it goes on, it won't come out as nicely when it stitches.
It'll come out twisted.
That's right. So now I'm to the same place I started. I'm going to take the bobbin thread and the ribbon, or the ribbon is the bottom thread, and the top thread, and I'm going to tie a little knot in them. And it doesn't need to be a secure knot because there's not anything pulling this apart. It's not a seam like clothing. And I use a big eye so that I can thread it easily. And then I come back to the quilt and put it down through the last hole that it came up out of and stay inside the batting. Now I'm not on the top of the quilt here, it would show. And then I pull that through.
So you're burying it inside the quilt in the batting.
That's right.
Right.
Pull that out, take my scissors and snip it off, and that one's done. And then I would do that with the other two.
Renee, do you bury those as you go along after you finish sewing each section?
You're gonna laugh. This is what I do when the phone rings because I can do it and talk at the same time. So if I have several of them, I do that to keep me busy.
Well, now we know. Now we know what to envision talking to you on the phone.
That's right. So now, because that Velcro is so easy to detach, I just pull back the Velcro and...
Ooh, look at that. Oh, it's pretty.
Thank you. Can you see the black stitching coming
Yes,
across? Like I
yes,
said, it will
yep.
show.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, so it's just the marriage of the right threads and
That's
then
right.
the right stitch length.
That's right.
That is gorgeous. So you just fill in all the sections like this in their different patterns?
And you'll get Renee's bag of tricks.
Well, what a great project. This has been fun. I've learned a lot. I'm sure the viewers have. So thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you. I enjoyed this.
Great. For more information, visit the episode notes at qnntv.com. For information on how to sign up for this and future episodes, visit qnntv.com.